Hello everybody, my name is DennyJannetty, and with bike park season coming to an end, I want to sit back and reflect on some of the things I've learned this year on the bike. The first and probably most important lesson I learned this year was that you're better than you think. This isn't just to say the skills on the bike, you have more in there, which it is, but it also has a lot to do with me in my life currently. I am a very risk-averse person, and this sport has really gotten me out of my comfort zone, whether it be pushing myself on a feature or a trail that I'm not super familiar with, or, just going to places that I normally wouldn't, because I don't love to travel. Also, that at the beginning of this year, coming into the season, probably early February, I decided to quit drinking. And that is something that has really helped me, because there's been times where I've missed riding days or haven't had good riding days because I've been hungover or because I just am not feeling up to it. And I realized that things I valued, I didn't want to keep doing that anymore. And I wanted to just put the 2 days a week that I get off from work, I want to put everything I have into mountain biking and getting better. And as I've, gotten better and progressed, I've realized that, I do have more to give on the bike, but I also have more to give in life. And I don't think a night of drinking is something that I'm willing to do and to give up the next day of riding, because one is something that makes me way, way happier. The second thing that I really learned this year is that the people along the way really do make a difference and make things worthwhile. The people that have come into my life because of this sport are outstanding, and I wouldn't trade anything that we've done together for anything in the world. When I first started out riding, I was doing it alone, and it was fun, and I liked it, but then I linked up with a good group of people, and things have just gotten better and better and better. And those days when I'm out with the crew, it's just amazing. Anything that's going wrong in my life, I forget about for however long we're out there. And it's quite unlike anything I've ever dealt with, because I've always been involved in team sports. I played lacrosse up until I was a junior in college. But I've never encountered a community that is so happy when other people accomplish things. There's no internal competition. It's just people having a good time and wanting the best for each other. And it's translated into some lifelong friends, and I couldn't be happier with the group of people that I've fallen in with, and they make me want to be a better person, and I just couldn't be happier. The next thing that I learned this year is that things are rarely ever perfect. And I'm guilty of all the time wanting things to be a certain way or things need to be ideal, but I've learned this year that isn't the case, and that's never really a realistic thing. Most of the footage that you see of me, especially riding at Mountain Creek, I'm riding on probably 3 hours of sleep, being up at a real early hour. I work nights, and kind of flip-flopping back to get up early is really hard for me, and it makes me anxious. But I've learned that it's okay. You're going to be a little bit uncomfortable at times. And I don't think it comes across in the video. And sure, things are a little bit uncomfortable, and it's not as ideal as I would like them to be, but I still had a great time. Amazing things still happened while I was a bit uncomfortable. The trail conditions at the beginning of the year at Creek were horrible. It rained every day, but I still got by, and I met some great people those days. Towards the end of the year now, it was all dry and dusty, and it hadn't rained for what felt like months. But I still had a great time. I still made progression, and I still met new people, and I still had a great time. It'll be okay. You're going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but that discomfort, when you look back, you won't remember it. The next thing I learned is that setting limits is okay. I know I said earlier in this video that you're better than you think and then you do have more to give. And that is true, but you have to do it comfortably. And there's some things that you're just not going to be comfortable with doing, and that's okay. And listen to your gut when that happens. Earlier in the year, I started hitting some big features and bigger jumps, and I was getting them, but I just was not feeling comfortable with it. And as the year went on, I said, you know what? Not this year. I'm not feeling that, and I don't want to get hurt because of it. So I backed off of it a bit. I wanted to go into certain things that are out of my comfort zone and feel that I'm ready for it. I don't think that I'm ready for some of the bigger things that I'm being thrown into, and I just want to say that it's okay to take a step back. You don't have to be peer pressured into doing something you don't want to do. Being pushed is a different story, but even from yourself, being the internal peer pressure, no one cares if you ride it, only you do. And I don't think my technique, especially on big jumps, is there yet. And I really want to get better and more comfortable on smaller things before I get to those big jumps. And that is okay. And that is okay for tech trails. That is okay for anything in your riding world. The next thing I learned is that racing might not be for me, and that's okay. I went into this year training in the off season for racing, and I did a whole series on it, or started one at least. And as I got into doing some of the amateur racing, the Thursday Night Race League at Mountain Creek, I realized it's just kind of not for me. Being at the Monster Pro Downhill Series and ESC Race Weekend, I kind of realized that the whole vibe wasn't for me. I met some really cool people, and it was cool to be around that atmosphere, but it's not what I wanted out of mountain biking. And I think maybe next year I might do a big one just to say I did it and prove to myself that I can do it. I don't need to win, obviously, but I think as I've gotten older that competitive spirit in me has kind of gone away. And I don't necessarily need to win and compete to be happy. I just need to be a part of it and be adventurous, and that's okay. I don't fault anybody who doesn't want to race or is really involved in that scene. If that's what you want, that's awesome. I'm super stoked on that. But I think for me, it's not what I want, and it's what I thought I wanted, but I realized, not for me. The last thing I want to highlight is how interesting of a journey this YouTube thing has been and how far it's taken me. I've met some awesome people and some people that I consider to be very good friends now through it. And it's always awesome when you're at a bike park or wherever and somebody comes up to you and says they really like what you do, they like your videos, and they enjoy them so much, and I'll forever be thankful for that. And it's amazing for somebody to come up to you, give you a fist bump and shake your hand, and they say they like what you do, and that's awesome. And I'll forever be humbled when a younger guy comes up to me and treats me like I'm a celebrity, and they can't wait to get a lap with you, and that's the highlight of their day, and that's awesome. It's forever humbling, and I will never take that for granted. And as long as I live, the few times I've had that happen to me, I'll never forget it, and I'm forever grateful for that. YouTube itself is a bit frustrating, and sometimes I just get really annoyed with it because the ins and outs and what videos will do well and what videos won't do well, and I try not to think of it that way, but it's hard not to. I'm simply just a human. Recently, I've been riding a lot lately without the GoPro, and it's been awesome just to kind of be there present in the moment. And even though with POV footage, especially with the GoPro, it's kind of not taking a ton away, it's just nice to be able to ride what I want and be there with my friends and not have to worry about what the footage will look like and how long it's going to take to edit. That's not to say I'm going to stop doing videos. I think I'm just going to maybe do less. And I really am okay with that. I just really want to enjoy my time riding the bike, and I want to do it on my own terms. And that's something that over the past week or so, I've really become okay with. Although it's not over, this has been one of the best years of my life, and this bike park season has really opened my eyes to the person I can be and the person I want to be. I'm thankful for all the amazing people I've met along the way and the people who have shared this year with me. I can't thank you enough. I'm also super grateful that I have a fiance, soon-to-be wife, that really supports me and what I want to do. And I couldn't also do this without you. So thank you for putting up with me and putting up with 3 bikes in the living room. So thank you all for watching. I look forward to see where this journey continues to go. And again, if you see me out on the trail, say what's up. Go out and ride something.